Hello, this is Lisa Russick
And Misty Lore.
with the podcast We're All Psychic, and today we have Miriam back. Epic of
Yay!
Miriam's has begun. And Misty, would you like to ask Miss Miriam the question again?
I sure would love to. Miriam, do you think that we're all psychic?
I feel like we all have superpowers of some kind. So like it might
Ooh.
not be psychic for everybody, but like you might have you might be an empath, you might you know, have different abilities. But if we're just gonna say everybody has abilities, then yes, my answer is yes.
Yeah, that's because semantics. Everyone, like, I kind of call it all energy work. It's the best way for me to pin it down that I'm comfortable with. But everybody has a term, like they're like terms they like to use are different. So I think it's cool. But if listeners and watchers, this is a video on Spotify if it comes out correctly, and I'm using a cool microphone. It's a condenser mic, and I hope it turns out okay because my other mic for my computer and the podcast, the cord broke. So I do have another microphone, but guess what? I don't know where the cord is. I moved 4 months ago or something, and I still don't know where it is. But today, Miriam is here to tell us about how to do what.
So I used to hate the holidays and Christmas.
I still do.
Yeah, my whole life. It was just the most awful thing ever to have to deal with every year. And lots of disappointments, lots of isolation, all of those things. But in the last 10 years or so, I have started to enjoy Christmas to the point where I love it. I love the holiday season. I get the warm, fuzzy feeling like I did when I was a kid, except for it's even better. And so I broke it down into steps of things that people can do, even if you're totally on your own, you have no family around you, or even if you have no people in your life at all. It's pretty foolproof in giving you that warm holiday fuzzy feeling without,
Oh, I need
being
that
drunk the whole
without the
time.
spiked eggnog. Yeah, but
Mm.
sometimes the eggnog is spiked. I do have some special eggnog, and I should have done that instead of this cream. But first,
Mm.
before we begin, Miriam, I just want to say cheers because listeners and watchers, she told me about this, and that's why I wanted to make this podcast because I'm going to try this, and I'm convinced it might work. Cheers, guys. Tell us about it. What do we
Cheers.
do? Tell us the recipe. Cheers.
All right. So I broke it down into steps because I recently wrote this into an article that I'm publishing at one of the platforms where I work. But the first thing is, first and foremost, you put yourself first 100% over friends, family, any of those things. And for me, that included not traveling.
Yeah.
My husband and I used to travel everywhere and saw everybody. And then we got this big, beautiful house and nobody comes to see us. And that's fine too. But people would call and say, "Oh, are you going to come? Are you going to come visit?" And we are like, we kind of did that for like the first, 12 years of our relationship. We really don't want to now. So no traveling. If you don't want to travel, do not travel. You can just stay in the comfort of your own home. That will save you lots and lots of money. A lot of this does save a lot of money if you do my formula. So no traveling at all. If people don't like it, they can just deal with it. Spending, we don't spend that much money. Like we might get each other a gift, my husband and I. But if we don't feel like it, usually one of us will call it and be like, "Oh, do you just want to like have the gift, not be getting a gift this year?" And we're like, "Yes, that sounds wonderful." We might buy like maybe an $11 bag of like bulk toys for our kitty cats because that's where
This
I
is where she
really,
hooked me. This is where she got me listening.
yes, this is where I hooked myself. So we have 4 kitty cats. If you don't have pets, don't worry. I'll tell you how to work around that. But we would do this thing where we only have like one tree. John found it for like $50, but it's like originally like a $300 tree. So shop in the off season if you're going to decorate for sure.
Oh, yeah. Good tip.
Right.
I
And
love
all
it.
we do is like the tree. We don't really do anything else. I might put like little Santa hats on some of our knickknacks and call it a day. But we have our tree and then we put a little tree skirt under it, of course. It's totally a fake tree, but it looks really nice. And on Christmas morning, John takes all the kitty cats downstairs. And I just either open that bag of toys or I just find all their toys that I couldn't find because they're under the stove usually.
Mhm.
And I dust them off and I just put them everywhere. I put them on the furniture. I put them in little like hammocks that they have. I put them in their little like cubby holes that they've got. I put them all underneath the tree. Lots of catnip and little treats everywhere, or just kibble if they're like not needing to eat that many treats. And once we get that all done, I put on like an ambience on the television, like a log fireplace with Christmas carols or something along that line. And then I say, okay, come upstairs, kitties. And John says, okay, let's go. And he opens up the little door and they come up there and they're all like, what's going to happen? And then they see everything, like little tunnels all over the floor, cardboard boxes full of catnip. And they just go ham for like a week straight. We don't clean it up until like they've totally exhausted every option that they have.
And they're bored with it, right?
And once I started doing that, that was like, I just started loving Christmas. And so then I started to expand my formula a little bit. Music and film is very important. So I have an entire list of holiday movies, but also movies that are not holiday movies at all. Like they could even be a horror film. But they're all
Missy loves horror films. Yeah.
Did you ever see Frozen? Not the cartoon.
No.
Oh, it's great. These kids get stuck on a ski lift for like a 3-day vacation or a holiday vacation.
Seen that.
Oh
They're stuck up on the thing, right? Yeah, I remember seeing that a long time ago. That was scary. Yeah.
Scary. Ooh.
I'm terrified of those ski lifts anyway. Those things are terrifying. Who does that? But I want to get on one, but I've never been on one.
I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, you got to check it out, Misty. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah.
Like I confused a lot of people and they confused me because they're like, oh, our kids loved Frozen. And I was like, you let your kids watch that?
I did. I think I watched it with my kids. We didn't know what was going on.
It starts out relatively innocently. You're like,
like an 80s movie, Hot Dog or something. Like Hot Dog. So I can't believe you know what hot dog is. I commend you.
I used to do all those food surveys I was telling you about before, Publix and Piggly Wiggly.
We do have Publix still, Miriam. They're all over out here.
Yeah.
I wondered about that because the whole reason we were doing that survey was because they had gotten like sued or something like that, and so we were doing like surveys with all the customers to be like, you like it, right? It's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, film is important. The music is important. Like I, for one, used to work in a mall during the Christmas season, which was.
That's why you hated Christmas. That's exactly why you hated it.
Good point.
Yeah.
Like the Mariah Carey song and like all those like, what's that one where the guy's trying to get the girl drunk so she'll stay there?
Yes.
Like all those.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I get the old school like carolers, playing, and then I have like my little movies, and we watch those movies from like Thanksgiving weekend all the way until we're done watching all of them. If it takes past the Christmas season, we just keep going. Comedies, whatever you have. And so that really gets you in the mood. And then what else do I have here? Make the day special in some way. Like this year, at midnight on Christmas Eve, so it would be like midnight Christmas morning, I'm going to go outside because I live out in the middle of nowhere, but I do live in like a little tiny town, and I'm going to ring a bell really loud.
You're going to do it?
I'm totally going to do it. And I might, my neighbors might get upset if I wake up their doggos.
How big is the bell? If the watchers are watching, how big is the bell?
It's like probably about that big, like this tall. And then like that big around. It's like a big iron.
The listeners, it's about the size of a bread box.
Mm-hmm.
And
a bread box. Not a toaster.
That's amazing.
Bread box.
So that's a good way to make it special. If you don't have pets, and this goes into the fifth and most important step, is acts of charity. And so I live out in the middle of nowhere. I really don't.
It.
Right. And like, even if you don't have things around you, like I would love to go to a hospital and like hold newborn babies that don't have moms to hold them. But like, we don't have anything like that around here. And so
Yeah.
I
Even
might
thought of
go to the
that.
local, oh, what do you call it, nursing home, and sing a song for them on your guitar, or doing
I've
whatever you
thought
want
about
to do.
doing that, yeah, because they have people go around wards and play music for people and stuff.
Absolutely. And that's something you can do on Christmas Day. I've even I brought a cake to a bar one night that was actually still open. I was like,
There you go.
I thought you meant the cake was still open. I was like,
Yeah, you made something, girl.
you took a cake that was still open to the bar? It's wrong
Yeah,
way.
that's awesome.
I was like, who wants Christmas cookies? They were like, oh, you're on your best.
That must have been, you must have gotten hoarded by people like, oh.
Yeah.
Better
They were like drunk munchy eating the cake. Like,
oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I love that idea.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Oh.
So, when is that the whole? There's more, isn't there? There's more.
The one thing that I would say is if you don't have like animals and you don't have like all those outlets of like going out at your disposal, I do try to make sure that the act of charity is done still, whether it's a cashier that I have a moment with, a pharmacy worker. Last year it was a lady, I was talking to an insurance lady on the phone, and I just made sure to say, hey, I really hope that you have a really happy holiday season. And I know you're tired right now, and they'll remember you forever. I've had people do it for me,
Yeah.
that
me too.
It's so important because you don't know how that's going to affect another person. That might be that might prevent them from going to kill themselves tomorrow. Who knows?
Right. You never know. It might just right timing and everything.
Yeah.
Especially around the holidays. People are feeling,
especially around the holidays.
Especially when they have no money and no home. I imagine it's just like really devastating.
Or, a lot of people.
I was wondering about Miriam is like people with children, like Misty, well, your children are kind of grown, but people who have children, sometimes I feel so bad because they can't get gifts for their kids, and that's one thing that ruins the season for them.
They end up going in debt,
or they just can't do it, and it's just makes them feel bad about the season. I mean, do you have any like recommendations for that, or how ways they can maybe do something like that they do with the kids? What my parents used to do, actually? They used to, well, you tell me yours first and I'll tell you what my parents
wait, hang on. I read an article today, actually. I read this today, and they said that most of your adult life, you don't remember what you got for Christmas, but you remember going in the kitchen and cooking with grandma, and you remember playing games with relatives and stuff like that. You remember more but you can't tell me what you got for Christmas when you were 6 years old, but I can tell you, I remember playing Scrabble with grandma. At that age, and
remember seeing all the relatives if you did that or whatnot.
I think that's so much more important than the gifts, and they'll appreciate that later on in life.
Time spent,
And I just had to say that because I read it today, and I thought
good point.
Is so true.
It is a good point.
One idea I had when you asked that was taking your kids and going, as long as they're not allergic to everything like me, going to like a animal shelter and letting them play with the kittens and help socialize the kittens, because a lot of places
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. You can foster too. Maybe they let you foster one, and you get in the door that way. Don't tell anyone I told you about.
They they want you to socialize them so that they actually find a home better.
Yeah,
and so that's a pretty easy gig.
That's such a good idea. I was thinking about, like, when I was a kid, my parents would, for one present on Christmas Eve, we could do this for just any kind of surprise that you like, maybe you bake them their favorite food for Christmas, like something really crazy and sweet, and maybe you make a gingerbread house together. If you have food stamps, you can make a gingerbread house. But you could have, what they did was they had not trivia game, like a scavenger hunt game, kind of, where they give us my brother and I both a clue, and we had to figure out where this clue would lead to the next clue, and it'd be like, I am a toilet, but I do not flush, and that was a litter box. And so the next clue was box. I just remember that one. That's the only one because I thought for sure it was a dollhouse toilet, and I was like, it's not in there. And we found it in the box.
It's a box toilet.
And just they were really good at this, and they had us going for a good 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes, trying with lots of clues, sometimes trying to figure this out. You know?
Yeah, I remember that, but you don't remember what you got, do you?
I remember a few things because I really remember early childhood, but it's not because I got them. It's just because when I walked in the room, they stood out and they stayed in my mental imagery.
Yeah.
One when I was 6. When you said that, I was like, whoa. It's always haunted me kind of because it was like in my stocking. I walked in around the corner in the morning to see the tree, and I think we had stockings up somewhere, but I turned and there was like this head of a doll. It was a doll head, just the doll head though, on the top of the stocking, and it just freaked me out. And I was like, I still remember what it looked like and everything. I remember that.
It's funny what we did remember, isn't it?
No one else is going to remember stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. I remember that because it just stuck out so big, you know, because it's
the
first one up. Yeah. That's probably what really stands out. That was the first Christmas I really remember being the first person up. They always had to wake me up. I couldn't go to sleep. You know, I'd be up till like 3 and then finally go to sleep. And they get me up at 7. Richard's up. Richard got me. My brother would get me up, you know, and go, let's do it. Let's do it. You know, but that time
I would get them all hopped up on cake, they have a million different names for it, but it's like depression cake or wacky day cake. It's the one that you don't need eggs for.
Okay.
It only has like 5 or 6. I'll have to send you the recipe.
Okay, yeah, you get.
But it makes like,
I can post it on our blog, listeners. I'll let you know.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's like you need weird ingredients. It's like vinegar and oil and stuff like that.
Really?
But it makes a big baker. It's not crumbly. It's like moist. It's moist, dark looking chocolate cake that's like kind of doughy on top. So it doesn't need frosting. It's so good. So good.
Oh, I need that recipe. Yeah.
You know, this is a really good thing too, Miriam. Like just having people to talk to about ideas to make the holidays better. It makes you feel better. Because you both have good ideas, and Misty's getting excited by everything you're talking about, and that's getting me excited too. And I've already heard the recipe, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's very like really want to do it when you hear it, you know. I do anyway.
Well, you know, a lot of people
there. You take your kids caroling.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right? They might give them. Yeah. They might give them treats and presents if they do a good job.
Caroling's a good idea. That's a good idea. Oh yeah. And how about for people who are alone? Like I've been alone most like Christmases, the last couple of Christmases. And I'll probably be alone this Christmas because I'm starting a job on the 23rd of December, oddly enough. But it's another psychic reading job in a place in town at Cosmic Connections. And that's my first day.
Is Eric going to be there?
No, I'm going to be here by myself, I think.
Oh, no.
So yeah,
you can come to my.
Well, I mean, I can drive down on the 24th. I asked. We'll talk about it later. But we're just having a conversation now, listeners and watchers, about nothing.
Yes.
What we're gonna do for Christmas?
Nobody.
But no, I'll be alone. And like last Christmas, I was alone, and it didn't like like I got myself like a $30 or $20 tree in it didn't even have to be a tree. It was like a plant, a house plant. And every year I've lived on my own, I've gotten a house plant about maybe, this big, 2 or 3 feet up, and just put lights on it. And I have about 10 ornaments left from growing up. And I'll just put those on there and some tinsel, if I get it that year. And I always have the lights, but it's just nice to do that, have like a plant instead of a plastic one. I always like the real trees, but most people have allergies to them. And a lot of people don't like chopping down a tree or don't like the tree because of the needles or something like that. And I've always liked the live trees, and I didn't mind all that, but I didn't have the allergies to them like a lot of people do. But that was like doing something that I'd never done before and making my own traditions as of someone being alone. I think that would be advice I could give for that, trying to make my own new traditions. So.
I was just picturing you like going with like your little 4 or 5 ornaments you have left and just like hanging them on somebody's like tree in their yard. Or just
that's so cute. That'd be so
One thing
cute.
I used to do for charity, this was so fun, was writing. There was a little mailbox in town that the kids put their Santa letters in,
Did
and
you
then
write them
volunteers.
back?
Yeah, we write them back as Santa.
That is so
So,
cool.
I
Oh
mean,
my
you could
gosh.
even do like a little letter, like in a couple of cards and just stick them on people's like porches,
Yeah.
or inside their screen doors that are just like, "Merry Christmas from Santa. You were such a good boy or girl this year," that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Would be
I'm gonna
really
I'm gonna
cute
deep
'cause
dive on you,
it's
Miriam.
magical.
I'm gonna deep dive on you. What about the families and people that, you say I'm staying home and they get mad at you or upset with you or don't understand, that you need this like time
That's
to
with
kind of get it
love.
back? How do you deal with the
Absolutely.
boundaries and stuff? Like some people won't understand that you need to do this way or something like that if you've always done it before, even though you hated it, right? Or
Right.
depressed.
Yep. My whole deal is like if they get upset, they get upset. Staying calm when you tell them. And honestly, if they get to the point where they're okay, so for example, my in-laws wanted to come to our house for Christmas one year, and we were fine with that, but they wanted to bring their like Doberman Pinscher, he was a very sweet doggo. He
It's
really
a
was.
big
But
dog and you
like,
have 4 cats, man.
yes, and we have 4 cats who have never seen a dog before. They've never been outside before, unless they're in a carrier. And so we kept saying no. And of course, I was selfish for doing that. It was all my fault,
Oh, I hate that. Yeah.
So John was very calm about it. And I actually really liked the way he kind of logic fed them and said, look, I know your dog's your family. That's how we feel about our cats. But when we come to visit
And
you, we don't
Miriam.
show up with 4 litter boxes. Yeah. I know. I'm like, yeah, the dog will put me in the hospital, but that's
Right.
fine.
That's what I was just thinking of your allergies. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't believe that that's all real. So like he was like, when we come to your house, we don't bring 4 cat carriers and litter boxes and say, oh, where do we
Oh,
put
that's a good
them?
idea.
Right?
Like you real rationalize
Good
it.
point. Yeah.
Right.
And Doberman is a
Because
big
nobody
dog. Big dog.
And I'm just allergic to dogs. They put me in the
I am.
hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I
it's
mean,
like,
that's
oh,
like you're saying my wife shouldn't be here, but your dog should. That sucks. A lot of people
I'm
get
like, never
an
underestimate
attitude
hot
from
cocoa.
people. Going in the holidays, they got a lot of pressure to do things that
Absolutely.
to break away. So now they're kind of making a new tradition. You can always tell them you're making a new tradition for whatever reason you want. If you've had something
Absolutely.
happen lately, or like in my case, I went through a divorce after having family Christmases for 13 years, and 11 of those being married, or 10 of those being married, and it was a big difference having kids when I had a Christmas.
Oh yeah.
It really is a big difference. It's so much more fun, but there is a lot of pressure in a lot of ways to take them everywhere, especially nowadays with so many split families.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, is there any advice for them to enjoy it? When can they say they can't put those walls down and say, look, I really can't go everywhere for Christmas. But if they could feel comfortable enough with their parentals, that they could say, look, I don't want to go here and here and here and here. But they, my stepson seemed to enjoy it when they got older. It was when they were little, they were just worn out, because they have
They don't.
to go, dude. It's so many places. Yeah, but they love the food, they love the presents, they love the attention. But then when they got older, they're just kind of like they started to feel the dramas in the family and stuff,
Sure.
and they were involved in some of them and stuff. So,
I always like to show the kids like some old movies that they haven't seen that we all grew up with watching. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but The Last Unicorn.
I have The Last Unicorn tarot deck sitting right around here. I do. It's a freaking awesome deck. I'll find it.
That movie is huge in Germany at Christmas time for some reason.
Really?
It's just, they just, that weird. So I had my nieces and nephews watch it, for the first time when yes, I have that one. It has the 2 lovers cards in it. I love it. Because one of the lovers, they're all in love, and the other one, they're like oppressive to each other. It's like the big tree hugging him to death.
The tree one, that's the one. I la 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 love you. Like, I don't want to imitate that. I'll be him. These are all great ideas. Misty, do you have any questions for Miriam that you were thinking of?
Well, I just want to point out too, a lot of people, have lost someone this year. Like my mom lost, my dad this year, and this will be her first Christmas without him. And so, I'm going to try to do everything I can to make her Christmas more special this year, and I don't know if we're going to be able to be together at Christmas, but I have a question. What can I do for her? What if we can't be together for Christmas? How do I make her Christmas special? Because she's going to be by herself.
Totally. One of the things that I would do, I mean, I love film, so I might send somebody like a coupon on Amazon to rent a Christmas movie. But I am a very big fan, depending on where you live. I can't really do it out where I live, of like ordering like an edible like cupcake of some kind and having it delivered. With like a cute little note, something like that. If you're strapped for cash, a phone call and singing them a Christmas song can go a long way. Sending them something special in the mail, like a card, that just says, "I'm so sorry I can't be there. I want to hug you," that kind of thing. We had a neighbor who lost his wife, like the summer before, that next Christmas. And we knew he was just kind of over there alone in his house. And we didn't figure he'd want to come over and hang out with like us and John's family. And so
that's how I
just grabbed, Right. I just grabbed all the little cookies that I could find, like one of each kind of weird cookies that his mom had made, and like a Hershey bar in case he didn't like any of those, and a card, and went over and just handed it to him. And he was so touched by that he like got us a card on his birthday that had $20 in it. Said, "Go out and have dinner on me for my birthday."
Aww.
Like, so sweet. I know.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that.
So yeah, anything that you are like, if you know somebody in her area that would be willing, have them dress up or go over and sing her a Christmas carol on the porch, or just anything that gives them like that happy memory, of something to kind of not replace, but to kind of fill the void a little bit with a new happy memory, as opposed to like
instead of making her think of the past. Because I was sitting there thinking, would pictures of earlier holidays make her feel better? You're right. It would be like more look forward. Yeah. Maybe something, give her something new to do on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day that she hasn't before,
Although I will say sometimes memories are good. Like I remember finding a little card that my dad had in his wallet that he gave to me one day. He like left after he visited, and then he came back and knocked on the door, and I was like, "Oh, did you forget something?" He was like, "Well, I feel silly, but," and he pulled out this little like wallet card that was like tiny, and it said, "You are loved." And he said, "I know that sometimes you feel like you're alone, and I feel like that too. And I just want you to know that, you're not alone. I will always love you." And I ended up finding that card that Christmas right after he had passed, that like October.
Yes.
Yeah. I found like a box of photographs. It just like felt so like warm and touching. We lost our brother right around Christmas as well, on the 17th of December. He died from a brain aneurysm. And we had to pull the plug on him. And so I know
you really have other reasons to hate the holidays, for memories that were bad.
Sure. Yeah. Rough
I teach others and me to remember like the good times. I had a lot of good times as a kid, but I got depressed in the seasonal affective disorder gets me really bad. And it always has. And I didn't know that's what it was when I was younger. I just got sick. I literally got like colds and stuff every Christmas and ear infections and stuff. But I would be like, and I got older when the time change came, I just got really depressed. But like for people who do have that kind of issue, other than seeing their doctor and trying to get through it, like, a medication, well, of course, do all those things. But like, is there any kind of like spiritual aspect that someone could bring into it, maybe, and find that something for themselves when they hate it so much for all the bad? All they can do is focus on the bad, and they just can't do any. They have no oomph to do any of it, even trying to want to do it. Is there anything for got anything for them?
Yeah, I definitely was that person for a long time. There were several years where I just enjoyed being a Grinch,
Yeah, enjoy it, right?
With all this shopping, I'm like, no, I don't do that,
Yes. Nefarious mustache.
If if I wanted to go, one of the things that I liked to do back when I was like a heavier drinker was like on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, you go find a bar that's still open. It didn't matter what time of day it was, and sat with those people because a lot of those people didn't have any family to hang out with either, you know?
Yeah.
And for some reason, like, I don't know what it is about, like you were talking about spiritual. I totally believe in like the spirit of Christmas. It's a conscious thing. And if you can like just open yourself up to that, not like, oh, I'm going to love Christmas. Just like, I'm going to invite you into my home.
The joy in there.
Holiday.
Yeah.
It will bring like so much warmth, you know. I wouldn't recommend doing what my grandma used to do, which was sit us in a little circle and read the little match girl and then tell us, you're so lucky you have a place to sleep.
Oh my God, it's like Halloween, my grandma. Come on now.
It's 4-year-old, yeah.
It's hilarious. Oh my God. Oh, you remember that, like not the presents.
Here's the thing. Every time she read it, she would cry. She would have little tears just running down. She's this very timid, sweet little tiny lady. She looks a lot like me. And she would just, I just want you to remember how lucky you are, you know, kind of thing. It was like
that. Oh my gosh, they get you in the boo-boo. Yeah, that's her Christmas. That's kind of her Grinch, getting everybody a little sentimental.
It was, yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, to count your blessings. You know, you're not out alone in the cold like that little girl was.
Because sometimes that's like a guilt complex thing when I think about things that way. I'm like, well, I know it's not that bad, but still, I suck right now, you know? And then I'd feel guiltier because I don't feel bad. I did feel bad for, you know, the Christmas Story. What's the kid's name who has the cane?
Oh yeah, Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim. Thank you, Tiny Tim. You know, like he is the most caring thing that ever happened in A Christmas Story, isn't he? And it's like, you know, even that would just make me feel guilty instead of like, because I couldn't get over my shit, but that kid could. This little boy without whatever.
Right.
So and it would make me feel worse. So that was one that didn't work for me. But having gratitude and what you're saying, inviting in the spirit, just like thinking of it as an energy in the world, the spirit of Christmas and of joy and of giving and receiving and giving. You know, and it's hard to receive sometimes too. I know a lot of people who have a hard time receiving gifts or compliments.
Absolutely.
You know, it's hard for them to receive them. But lastly, before we summarize this, I could talk to you ladies all night. I miss you. You haven't seen Misty in forever, Mary. I was like, I know. I miss you. Thank Everclear. Thank you, Everclear. We love you. Everclear is our sponsor. Everclear.com. It is an advice app and website where you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve from advisors like us and more. Better than us. Just kidding. I'm an advisor under the name Lisa, Pleesap, and Miriam. And where can they find you at Everclear?
I'm Miriam C.
And where else? What else do you do? What's magical that everybody doesn't know about? Like, if I haven't watched,
I have a YouTube pick a card channel called Miriam the Mage. If you just Google search it, it'll usually find. It'll just be my hands and some cards.
That's awesome, guys. If you didn't watch the podcast, like she was last in where she did one for us, it was amazing. And, go check our channel. I've been watching them like crazy and just like gobbling them up when I'm like, just chilling out and stuff. It's really good stuff.
Humor. I try to do humor.
They're funny. Yeah, there's a lot of funny. And Misty, any last words for anybody going on downtown with you?
Going on downtown with me?
Yeah, anything you want to say?
I think that it's always better to give than to receive. And I think that we all need to remember that. Even if it's something like grab some cookies and bring it to the guy next door that just lost his wife. Something simple. I didn't buy anything by doing that. She didn't buy anything by doing that. But it still meant a lot. And I think that if you do that and you can keep that in your heart, you'll keep the Christmas spirit alive.
Amen.
I love that. The gratitude and the giving and the receiving.
Yeah.
Giving especially. Yeah. I love that, Misty. It's beautiful. And I guess listeners and watchers, we're going to call it a night. And you all have a wonderful time. And everybody have a peaceful holiday or whatever you may manifest it to be. And I think this recipe will work for me. I'll let you know after the holiday season. And thank you so much, Miriam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's fun.
Thank you, Misty.
Thank you, Lisa. Love you.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.